Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And as you can tell, I get a ton of comments talking about notches on smartphones. Even if the video has nothing to do with design of a specific phone, people are still gonna comment whether or not they like the notch on their smartphone. And I do have to say, 2018 is definitely the year of the notches. So many smartphone manufacturers decided to use that design language of a notch in their flagship phone. Now I'd like to take a look at the phones from this year and see creative ways that companies have decided to not include a notch in their phone. Also take a look at upcoming phones to see if that notch trend is something that's going to continue or if it's something that will die out. Drop a comment, let me know if you'd like for it to die out, if you really don't like the notches, if you like them. Love to hear from you guys. Let's get started. Now, if you're wondering what a notch is, normally the display of a phone is a perfect rectangle. However, on some phones towards the middle top, you will see kind of a cutout towards the top where the screen continues up the right and left-hand side. However, there is a black cutout towards the top for that front-facing camera and sensors as well. I would like to begin talking about Apple and the notches. They were the ones that included it in the iPhone X. However, their newer models that they came out with all year in 2018, the iPhone XS, the iPhone XS Max, and the iPhone XR all had notches. Now, the main reason for this is because Apple solely has Face Unlock, Face ID on their phones instead of a fingerprint scanner. And to be completely honest, Apple is just doing away with the fingerprint scanner. They are going to continue to improve upon their Face ID technology. So when it comes to Apple devices, I think in the near future, you can potentially expect to see notches on all phones in 2019, essentially because they need all of those sensors to make their Face Unlock so secure and work exactly how it should. If you're looking to buy an Apple device without a notch, you will have to go all the way back to the iPhone 8 to get one. And then of course there is the Android side where you have so many smartphone manufacturers that there are so many different designs for phones, which makes Android so great because so many manufacturers can develop phones and you can pick and choose what you want in a phone. Companies like Google, LG, Huawei, and OnePlus went all in with the notch and had a flagship phone with the notch. Now they did look a little bit different. LG and the Google Pixel 3 XL had very prominent notches on their phones. The Huawei Mate 20 Pro also had a notch as well. Now some of the notches weren't as obtrusive. The OnePlus 6, OnePlus 6T had a water drop notch along with that Mate 20, which gave it a much better look and didn't take up nearly as much space. Now Google gave you an option if you wanted a notch or not. Get the Pixel 3 XL if you want the notch. If you don't like the notch, you're gonna have to sacrifice size, get a smaller Pixel 3, and you sacrifice battery life. Or you could go the route of Samsung phones, and in their flagships, they have really stuck to their roots. They have not included a notch. They have included a headphone jack in their flagships as well with the S9, S9 Plus, and Galaxy Note 9. Now the S9 and the Note 9 both have very minimal bezels. However, up at the top, there is a black bar as opposed to there being a notch. And I still think both of those phones look great not having a notch. You could also go the route of the Razer Phone 2 and have very large bezels. However, you have very good front-facing stereo speakers. Now this next phone I'd like to talk about is nearly bezel-less right here and has one of the cooler ways to unlock your phone using Face Unlock. So watch this. If I go ahead and swipe up to unlock my phone, it unlocked the phone and you saw a bit of a mechanism pop up and down. Now the Find X is Oppo's solution to getting rid of the notch, and you will notice on the back of the phone there's no camera, and on the front of the phone there is no camera because both of them are within the phone. Now let's go ahead and show off a closer look at that Face Unlock. Now let's try a better angle here. So if I unlock the phone, it pops up and slides back down, so it will only raise up when that camera gets activated. So if I open up that camera app, you will see it will stay up for me. I can go ahead and take a shot, and then if I back out of the camera app, it will slide back down. Motorola also decided they were just not going to have a notch on their phones, and low-key, Motorola makes some of the better devices out there at the price point that they're at. So now let's talk about the future of phones in 2019, and my prediction is that 2019 is going to be the year of the cutout. So not the notch. I think the transition's actually going to happen where there's going to start being a cutout in the display. So of course the big phone coming out early on is the Galaxy S10 from Samsung, and there have been a ton of leaks already about it, but realistically what's going to happen is there's going to be a small cutout in the display for that front-facing camera, and even potentially 2 cutouts for a dual camera system. Now, unlike Apple, the main reliance on unlocking Android phones is with your fingers, and Qualcomm actually developed a way with their processors to have a full screen fingerprint unlock. And since that's the case, there are a lot less sensors needed on the front of the phone. Now, whereas Apple needs all those sensors to keep up their top-of-the-line face unlock. Don't get me wrong, Apple does face unlock the best, but they do need a decent amount of sensors for that, whereas on Android, it does have face unlock, but it's not as secure and it's not as consistently quick as Apple's. So that's just my opinion on the future of phones. I could completely be wrong, but I think 2019 is going to be the year of the cutout and the in-display fingerprint scanner. Now, I'd also like to give you guys my opinion on the notch itself, specifically because I've used so many phones with notches, without notches, and when it comes down to it, overall, I do get used to it having a notch. It doesn't really bother me when I just look at the phone. However, functionally, there's times when I get really annoyed by it, specifically when I have notification icons. On Android, I love notification icons. However, there's such limited space in the corner, you can't have that many, which is a nuisance. Also, when watching full screen videos, it just cuts into the content, and playing full screen games, that notch just gets kind of annoying. Now, realistically, I don't mind the water drop notch nearly as much as a full-on notch. I think that was a great kind of workaround to the full notch, but of course, then you kind of sacrifice the space for any face unlock sensors, added security that you would like to add. Or of course, you could go the route of hiding all of your cameras inside your phone and have it pop up only when you need it. So there's specific workarounds to the notch. I think overall, it will start to get phased out, transition into the cutout, and then from there, we'll see kind of what happens. So overall, that's just about everything I want to talk about with the notch. Kind of wanted to recap a lot of phones this year. Upcoming is my top favorite phones and top favorite budget phones. So be sure to click that subscribe button so you're notified when I drop those. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you do. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.